Think about it for a second. You wake up, make your usual cup of coffee, go about your entire day, and never once think about your kidneys, because why would you? They don't ache, they don't send you a warning, they just quietly filter roughly 120 quarts of blood a day, every single day, in the background, for your whole life. As we get older, that quiet filtering process can naturally slow down a bit, and on its own, that isn't scary. But it does mean the small choices we make, especially what we drink day to day, start carrying a little more weight than they used to. That's really the whole reason this video exists, not to worry you, but to walk through a few simple, low-pressure options that research suggests may help support that process, one warm cup at a time. So let's go through them properly, one at a time, because throwing 5 names at you all at once won't help you remember a single one of them. The first one is Dandelion Tea. And before your brain files it away as just a backyard weed, here's the teaser: the reason people have used this plant for centuries has almost nothing to do with the flower, and everything to do with what it does to fluid balance in the body. Dandelion tea has traditionally been used as a mild, natural diuretic, meaning it may help your body release a little extra water and sodium through urine. Sounds almost too simple, right? Some research suggests that gentle diuretic effect may ease part of the day-to-day workload on your kidneys, since they're the organs responsible for filtering that fluid to begin with. It's also naturally rich in antioxidants, which are generally associated with lower oxidative stress in the body's cells, and it naturally contains potassium too, which is perfectly fine for most people's diets. That said, if you've ever been told to specifically watch your potassium intake, or you're already taking a prescribed diuretic, or you have a history of kidney stones, this is exactly the kind of addition worth mentioning to your doctor first, simply because a few different things doing a similar job at once isn't always the best idea. Now here's one that might surprise you a bit more. Ginger tea. Most people only know ginger for settling an upset stomach, but that's really not even the most interesting part of its story. Ginger naturally contains compounds that some studies suggest may have anti-inflammatory properties, and ongoing, low-grade inflammation in the body has been linked in research to extra strain on the kidneys over time. Since kidneys rely heavily on steady, healthy blood flow to filter waste the way they're supposed to, anything that may support normal circulation is genuinely worth paying attention to. Ginger has also been studied for a possible role in supporting steadier blood sugar levels, and that detail matters more than it might seem, because unmanaged blood sugar over time is repeatedly identified in research as one of the leading contributors to kidney strain in the first place. A warm cup of ginger tea is also just an easy, low-effort way to add more fluid into your day without reaching for something sugary, which, again, circles right back to hydration. Have you noticed how often that word keeps coming up? That's not an accident. The third one on this list isn't really about what the tea adds, it's about what it leaves out. Peppermint tea. It's naturally caffeine-free, and that matters more than most people realize, because caffeine in larger amounts can act as a mild diuretic itself, and for some people, that may add extra strain on a day when they aren't drinking enough water elsewhere. Peppermint tea gives you that warm, comforting drink experience without any caffeine at all, which makes it a genuinely easy way to simply drink more fluid throughout the day. It's also commonly used to ease everyday digestive discomfort like bloating, and honestly, having a drink you actually look forward to tends to make a habit stick, which matters more than any single ingredient ever does on its own. And here's the twist nobody really mentions in these videos: staying properly hydrated isn't just one tip among many, it's consistently described in research as one of the single most important habits for supporting normal kidney function as we age, because your kidneys quite literally need enough fluid on hand to filter waste efficiently in the first place. Let's actually sit with that for a second, because that one idea, hydration through something you actually enjoy drinking, might be the single most underrated point in this entire video. We're going to circle back to it before we're done. Moving on to the fourth pick, and this one connects to something you probably wouldn't expect. Chamomile tea. Everyone knows it for helping people wind down before bed, but here's the part that actually ties back to kidney health specifically: Poor sleep and ongoing stress have both been associated in research with higher blood pressure over time, and blood pressure control keeps coming up as one of the most important factors in supporting kidney health over the long run. Not exactly the connection most people expect from a bedtime tea, is it? Chamomile also naturally contains antioxidant compounds like apigenin, which some early research has looked at for a possible role in reducing oxidative stress, and it's also been traditionally used to ease mild stomach discomfort, with some smaller studies looking at its broader calming effect on the nervous system, which loops right back into that stress and blood pressure connection we just talked about. So in a slightly roundabout way, better sleep may end up supporting a lot more than just your mood the next morning. And that brings us to the fifth and final one. Rooibos tea. This one has a quiet advantage that has nothing to do with antioxidants, at least not at first. It actually comes down to something rooibos barely contains at all. Rooibos is naturally caffeine-free, and it's also naturally low in oxalates, unlike some other teas out there, which matters because, in people who are prone to them, higher oxalate intake has been associated in research with a greater likelihood of certain kidney stones forming. It's also rich in antioxidants such as asparagine, which some early research has explored for a possible role in reducing oxidative stress at the cellular level, and some studies have even looked at rooibos for a possible role in supporting healthy blood vessel function, which is worth knowing since your kidneys depend on an enormous network of tiny blood vessels to do their filtering work. To be clear, none of this makes rooibos some kind of fix or cure, but as an everyday, caffeine-free option, it's a genuinely reasonable one to rotate into your week. Now, some of you are probably thinking, switching a tea seems like a pretty small thing to actually matter. And that's a completely fair thought to have. But small, repeated choices are exactly the kind of thing that add up over years rather than days. And that's really the whole idea behind a video like this one in the first place. So here's the part that tends to get missed in videos exactly like this one. It's easy to walk away thinking the goal was to find the one single best tea on the list. But that was never really the point. Remember that hidden thread I mentioned at the very start? Here it is, for out of these 5 teas are naturally caffeine-free, and every single one of them gives you another easy reason to simply drink more fluid throughout your day, consistently, without caffeine or added sugar quietly working against you. Consistent hydration is one of the most repeated, evidence-backed habits associated with supporting healthy kidney function as we get older. That's it. That's the detail that's easy to scroll straight past, and it's honestly the one that matters most out of everything we've covered today. And to be fair, tea is really just one small piece of a much bigger picture. Things like managing blood pressure, staying consistently hydrated, and keeping an eye on sodium intake are the habits researchers tend to highlight again and again when it comes to supporting kidney health as we age, and a better cup of tea is simply one of the easiest, lowest effort pieces of that picture to actually start with today. If you've made it this far, do one small thing for me, drop a comment and tell me which one of these 5 you're actually going to try first: dandelion, ginger, peppermint, chamomile, or rooibos. I genuinely read through these and I'm curious which one people gravitate toward. There's no wrong answer here either. Whichever one fits into your day the easiest is genuinely the right place to start. And if you found this useful, subscribing just means the next video like this one actually lands in front of you, which matters here, because there's already a follow-up planned on the daily habits that may help support healthy blood pressure after 60, and it pairs naturally with everything we just walked through. So, to sum it all up in one line, no single tea replaces regular checkups, honest conversations with your own doctor, or your prescribed medication, especially if you're already managing a kidney condition, and nothing in this video was ever meant to replace that. But choosing a warm, caffeine-free, antioxidant-rich tea instead of something else during your day is a small, low-pressure habit that research suggests may quietly work in your favor. Drink enough, drink smart, and let your kidneys keep doing their quiet work, one cup at a time.